What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my Defender NFL. We got the Week 18 recap.
Wentz pulls it down once, now throws, intercepted! Tannehill throws on the run, Westbrook Akina has it, touchdown!
Play action, Keenum, Landry, inside the 5 to the end zone, touchdown!
Blitz coming to throw, and it's intercepted! And that's going to be a Washington football team touchdown! Once again, Dalton to throw it.
Second is Peterson running, breaks it back. Patrick Peterson, I got my interception this year. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Sidelines again. Inbounds, got to be a chunk play.
Love over the middle. Intercepted! Game over!
Alive for the playoffs. Will snap it. Harvin will hold it. Sweeps the leg. And that is a winner!
From the 13th, first down. Simeon throwing for Smith. End zone. Did he pull it? And he did! What a touchdown for Traquan Smith!
Opportunity to run the ball one more time because you can get a little softer defense in these situations. Wilson gets the snap. Under pressure. Escaping. Running. Lunging in for a touchdown.
To the air. Allen stiff-arming his way from one defender. Throws in there. Grabbed by Diggs. Was he in? No. On the chalk. Incomplete. Heavily pressured. Was quarterback to 3, but
Allen to get when he makes...
Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh has all one. Elijah.
Jones from the gun, 3rd and 2. It's picked. Intercepted. Howard. And he's in.
The Saints win. Saints end up being the 7th seed. New Orleans is going to win 30-13.
Here's Miller, who's got great speed along the sidelines to the end zone.
49ers. Watch Stafford go deep and picked off. Intercepted by Ambry Thomas. And the rookie.
But I'm just saying.
Snap good, hold good, and Raiders in, Chargers out.
Welcome back to Fun Vote. We got the Week 18 recap. Of course, 14 games to do. Let's get right into it. As it loads. Okay. First game, Colts Jags. Just stare at the score for a little while and realize what this means. Like, really. Just think about it. Because, to be honest, it's kind of funny. If you're the Colts, you lost to a team that has the #1 draft pick. They haven't beaten Jacksonville since 2014 here in Jacksonville. But the Jags are 3-14. Yeah, they have the #1 pick. We'll get to that why they have it in a little later. Whatever, they won 26-11. Colts fall to 9-8. They're eliminated from the playoffs. Carson Wentz 17 of 29, 185 touchdown pick. Jonathan Taylor 15 for 77. You can't really run the ball that well when you only run the ball 15 times with Jonathan Taylor. They didn't run the ball in the Naheem Hines either. Michael Pittman, decent game. T.O. Allen, decent game. Overall, they played like crap though. Defensively, Alquan Mohamed had a sack. Overall, they played pretty bad considering the team they were playing. Jags, Trevor Lawrence's best game of the season, 23 of 32, 223, 2 touchdowns. Raquel Armstead, a vision, 9 for 52. Darrell Ogunbowale, not so much. Trevor got sacked a couple times. He had to get away from some pressure. Marvin Jones had a really good game, 7 for 88 and a touchdown. Laviska Shenault, 5 for 62. Laquan Treadwell had a touchdown. Defensively, they were awesome. They had 5 sacks, an interception by Damian Wilson. They had a fumble recovery. They were awesome. They played great, and yeah. As you saw for the Colts, they did not run the ball for over 150. They didn't even do it close, and they did not run the ball for over 150 in the first half, and they didn't really run it with Naheem Hines either at all. Obviously, they're getting a minus. They stunk it up. They didn't stay with what was their true and ended up losing. Colts defense, they were bad too. They get a minus. You can't lose to the Jaguars unless you play awful, and that's what they did. They didn't even get close to 3 sacks or turnovers. Were they terrible? Not as bad as you can get, but they were still not good. Jags offense run the ball efficiently. They did that somewhat and no turnovers. That's the key. That's the reason they won the game. Obviously, they're getting a plus. They're the Jaguars. They did their job offensively. Defensively is really the reason they won this game. But the Jags offense, you kind of have to have low expectations as a result. But they did have 2 turnovers. They did have 5 sacks. Their defense did their job. They're the reason they won this game. Okay, let's go to the next one. And about basically everyone except every Chiefs fan, non-surprise. The Titans win 28-25. Close game over the Texans, who fought 4-13. They have a top 5 draft pick. Titans 12-5. They get the number 1 seed. They won't be playing this week for the first time since 2008. Ryan Tannehill, 23 of 32, 287, 4 touchdowns. He was fantastic. Dante Foreman didn't really run the ball that well, but Dontrell Hilliard did. Nick Westbrook, 4 for 78 and touchdown. A.J. Brown, 4 for 68 and touchdown. Julio Jones, 5 for 58 and touchdown. Anthony Ferguson, 4 for 56 and a touchdown. Defensively, Zach Cunningham was phenomenal. Alex Bolden got burned a couple times. He was on. Danny Amendola, Kevin Byard had a bad game. Overall, I think they played decent. They did have 2 sacks. Kylie Pecco had a big one. Just smushed Davis Mills. Jeffrey Simmons had a good game. Texans, Davis Mills was basically perfect. 23 of 33, 301, 3 touchdowns. He was a field general. They ran the ball pretty well, other than Rex Burkhead just not really having it. Dan Amendola, his game of the season, 7 for 113, 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins had some big catches, same thing with Rex Burkhead and Chris Moore. Brandon Cooks got shut down though. Defensively, they had a sack. They just really didn't do much. Terrence Brooks, Tavir Thomas, Camus Gregory Hill, they were going over the field. Overall, though, they just didn't play that great. Okay, now we go to the keys to the game. For the Titans, though, I said run the ball for over 235 minutes possession time. They didn't really run the ball that well. They did. I will give them a plus, though, because Ryan Tannehill, if he plays like that in the playoffs, yeah, it was against the Texans, but they'll definitely go far in the playoffs. Yeah, they honestly could get to the championship, could even win it. They could be in the Super Bowl. Titans are looking really good offensively. Defensively, they're getting a minus, and here's why. Yeah, they did double Brandon Cooks. They did pressure Davis Mills a little bit, but Davis Mills could just throw wherever he wanted. He was dictating them. You can't have that happen in the playoffs, or they're going to have trouble stopping teams. They got to play better. Texans offense run play action shots to checkdowns. They did that the whole game. Run the ball for over 150. Honestly, I'll give them an underscore. They did play okay. The thing is, they just didn't run the ball. They never had a lead. As a result, they ended up losing. They ran the ball really well in the first half and for over 150 in the whole game. I think they had a shot at winning it. Texans defense, they did stop the run somewhat well. They did not get 5+ turnovers. They're obviously getting a minus. They gave up 28 points, and they just weren't great overall. There was 21 in the first half. They really were lost most of the game. I really think they could have been a lot worse, though, but I'm giving them a minus. Next. Okay. The Bengals went into Cleveland in a meaningless game and lost 21-16. They fell to 10-7. They'll be playing the wild card round at the 4th seed. Browns go to 8-9. I guess some semblance to a rough season. Brandon Allen, honestly, he could have been a lot worse. 15-29, 136, a touchdown, decent. Trayvon Williams, 9 for 38 on the ground. Trent Taylor, 2 for 41. Jamar Chase, 2 for 26. Didn't really throw the ball that much. Offense didn't do much. Defensively, though, Chris Evans had a good touchdown, though. Defensively, they weren't great. Marcus Bailey, of course, starting at middle linebacker. He was decent. Trey Flowers had a couple of big tackles. Trey Waynes was good. Mike Hilton was fantastic. He had a really nice pick. Ricardo Allen, of course, starting in place for Jesse Bates was good. Okay, now we go to the Browns. Case Keenum, 17 of 24, 176, 2 touchdowns, pick, decent. Dearness Johnson ran the ball really well, 25, 123, touchdown. Nick Chubb, 9 for 58. Honestly, they played good. Jarvis Landry had a good game for his standard, 6 for 78, 5 and a touchdown. Donovan Peoples-Jones had a big catch, as you can see on the screen. It was called back, but the reason I put it on there is because he got wide open, and yeah, they were holding him. But it was a nice. No, that was Jarvis Landry. Never mind. He had a nice touchdown. But Donovan Peoples-Jones had some big catches. Demetrius Felton, 2 for 18 and touchdown. Defensively, Jacob Phillips had a sack, 8 tackles, and 1 assist. Jadeveon Clowney had 2 big sacks. Myles Garrett had 1. JOK had a decent game. Okay, let's go to the keys to the game recap. Okay, for the Bengals offense, run the ball down the deep Browns' throat. They didn't really do that well. They didn't really run the ball that well, but when they did, I think they were decent. Give them an underscore. They had a back quarterback, and I think they did decent against good defense. Bengals defense, pressure Keenum, under 100 total rush yards. They didn't let that. They did pressure Keenum pretty well, though. I'll give them an underscore. They played decent. Browns offense, run the ball. Honestly, they played a pretty good game offensively. Run the ball for over 200. They didn't quite get there. They were close. Honestly, they actually might have got there. Let me check. No, they were actually pretty close. Play action for 200. They were close to that, too. I'll give them a plus. Like, they didn't score a ton. They had a couple bad turnovers, but overall, I think they played really well. Considering how bad they played against Packers, they lost 24-22. Yeah, they scored a couple of points, but they just stick to what they needed to, and they ended up winning this thing. Browns even stopped the run pressure Allen. I think they played decent. They did get pressure on Brandon Allen. They didn't really stop the run the whole most of the game, but I think they were still decent. Next game. Another meaningless game. Washington won 22-7 in a decent defensive battle against the Giants. They go to 7-10. Some semblance of a mess of a season. Giants have just been terrible. Taylor Heinicke only threw the ball 18 times. He was pretty bad. 9 of 18, 120. Antonio Gibson ran the ball like he wanted to. 21 for 146 and a touchdown. Jonathan Williams, 7 for 45. Terry McLaurin, 4 for 93. Big game for him. Jarrett Patterson had a couple of big catches. Defensively, they just played basically just shut down football. James Smith-Williams, William Bradley King were fantastic. Cole Holcomb, when he's out there, he's great. Jamin Davis finally had a good game. Deron Payne was all over the field. Was in the backfield the whole game. Jonathan Allen had a couple big assists, and Shaq Tony helped him. Now for the Giants. Jake Fromm was bad, 15 of 31, 103, touchdown, 2 picks. 2 picks were bad. Saquon couldn't run the ball. Jake Fromm had some good scrambles. Darius Slayton had the touchdown. Other than that, they stunk. Kenny Golladay had no effort. He should get cut. He dropped a touchdown, or a big play at least. Lorenzo Carter had a sack. Other than that, they really didn't do a ton. Leonard Williams, of course, had 1. He's had a decent season. Let's see how many sacks Leonard Williams has had. 6.5. Yeah, maybe not that great, but he's still a good player. Okay, now go to. Okay, now run the ball for over 150. They got that. Play action shots to Terry McLaurin. They got that. Screens to running backs. They didn't really get that. I'll give them an underscore. The screen game just really wasn't there. I gotta admit that. It really wasn't there. Washington even stopped the run, 3+ turnovers. I think they got 3. They at least got they got at least 2. They had a couple of turnovers on downs. They did stop the run. Of course, they're getting a plus. They only get 7 points. For the Giants offense, run the ball. No, they stunk. Defensively, honestly, they were pretty decent. Stop the run, play aggressive, pressure the QB. I think they did all that. They played okay. Next meaningless game. This was a good offensive game. Vikings won 31-17 over the Bears, who fall to 6-11. Vikings go to 8-9. They've had finished about what you kind of expected. Not me, but what most people expected. Bears fell to 6-11 though. Andy Dalton, 33 of 48, 325, touchdown, 2 picks. Threw the ball downfield, but wasn't great. Darnell Mooney had his best game of the season, 12 for 126 and a touchdown. Allen Robinson, most disappointing player of the year. Cole Holcomb, Cole Kmet, 4 for 48. Damian Williams had a touchdown. Eddie Jackson was actually decent. Belial Nichols and Travis Gibson combined for a sack. Angelo Blackson had a sack. Overall, I think they played okay. Not great, though. Vikings, Kirk was pretty much perfect. 14 of 22 with 253 touchdowns. Dalvin Cook ran the ball basically just 14 for 79. Good game. Alexander Madison didn't have the same fortunes, but he was still decent. Justin Jefferson, another good game. 5 for 107 and a touchdown. Amir Smith, Marset had a big touchdown. 3 for 103. KJ Osborne had the long touchdown. Defensively, they were pretty darn good. Anthony Barr had 2 sacks. Pat Pete had the pick 6. DJ Wanham had 2 sacks. Dalvin Tomlinson had a sack. That's 5. They had 7 sacks with Kenny Wilkes in the end of the game, having a couple sacks. Blake Lynch also had a pick. They were pretty darn good. Okay. For the Bears offense, run the ball for over 200. No. Short passes, yes. Move the ball methodically, yes. I'll give them an underscore. They were decent. Bears defense, they did not stop the run. They did not really pressure Kirk Cousins. They're getting a minus. They were not good. They were the only chance of honestly of them winning this. But Vikings offense run the ball with Galvin Cook over 30 times. They didn't get close to that, but they did run the ball decent. Play action targets to Justin Jefferson. I'm giving them a plus. They played a solid game offensively. Vikings defense stopped the run, pressure Allen. I'll give them a plus just for the fact they had 7 sacks and 2 interceptions and a touchdown. I don't care how many yards you give up. If you do that, you're most likely going to win. Okay, now we go to the NFL on Fox game one, first game of the doubleheader recap. Lions came out in a meaningless game, 37-30 over the Packers. They bust their chances to get a number 1 pick. Doesn't really matter though. They're still going to get Aiden Hutchinson or who is it? Kayvon Thibodeau. They fought a 3-13-1. Packers 13-4. Aaron Rodgers was great when he played. 14 for 18, 138, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love threw 2 picks at the end of the game, but other than that, he was decent. 10 for 17, 134 touchdown. A.J. Dillon ran the ball well. Same thing with Patrick Taylor Jr. Allen Lazard 5 for 75, 2 touchdowns. Joshua McQuarrie had a long touchdown on a screen. Defensively, they were pretty darn bad. Dean Lowry had a sack. Kevin King was about as average as you get. Darnell Savage gave up a touchdown. Chris Barnes was decent. Other than that, they kind of stunk it up. Lions offense. Jared Goff was great. 21 of 30, 238, and 2 touchdowns. Tom Kennedy had a long touchdown on a trick play. Trick plays were kind of their offense, though, because they couldn't really run the ball. But on 7 carries for DeAndre Swift, he had 30 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 for 109 and a touchdown. Khalif Raymond, 4 for 101 and a touchdown. Brock Wright, 2 for 58, 251 and a touchdown. I want to see if DeAndre Swift got to 1,000 yards. I don't think he did. No, he didn't. He was close to, like, where was it? Like, where's the Bears game? Yeah, like, right here, before this game, like, he was on track to getting to 1,000 yards. Like, after the, no, not that game. Right here, he only had 3 carries against the Bears. He had that huge game against the Browns. Like, he was on track at this point right here, after the Browns game, to get to 1,000 yards. But he didn't get there. Okay, but yeah, yeah, they were decent offensively. Defensively though, they were great. I'm joking, they weren't that great. But Derek Barnes had a sack. Tracy Walker had a pick. C.J. Moore had basically the game-clinching pick. Jesse Limonier had a sack too. Julian Okwara had the big 2 sacks though. Okay. For the Packers offense, run the ball for over 150 quick passes. They didn't really get that. They did have a lot of quick passes. I'll give them an underscore. I mean, yeah, not a plus. They did put up 30 points, though, like kind of expected, but they weren't great. Packers defense pressure Goff, double Amon-Ra St. Brown. They were bad. Like, I can't really say anything else. They have 37 points to the Lions. You're not going to win when you do that. Lions offense run the ball for 250. They didn't get close to that, but I'm giving them a plus because their trickery was honestly really fun to watch. The Lions off defense stopped the run, pressure the quarterback. They were kind of tough. I'll give them an underscore. They could have been a lot worse. Well, at the end of the game, I'll give them that. They were great at the end of the game. Other than that, they gave 30 points, gave a lot of yards. That's about it. Next game. Now, this one was entertaining. Steelers win 16-13. We'll get to something else in a second. Steelers 9-7-1. Ravens 8-9. They fall. They are eliminated. I'll tell you that. Final in overtime. Chris Boswell had the game winner. Big Ben was decent. 30 of 44, 244, touchdown, a pick. Chase Claypool was their leading rusher. Najee Harris, Benny Snell, Kalen Balazs couldn't really get anything going on the grid. Pat Freiermuth had a good game, 6 for 53. Deontay Johnson was kind of just struggling. Chase Claypool, the touchdown, other than that, didn't do much. Cameron Aylward had a sack on 6 tackles. Minka Fitzpatrick had a big tackle. Cam Sutton had a pick. Chris Wormley had a sack. T.J. Watt had a sack. He ties Michael Strahan's record at 22.5. Terrell Evans had a pick. Other than that, they didn't really do it much. Tavius Murray had a long touchdown. He was just about as perfect as you can get. Same thing with Tyler Huntley on the ground. Devontae Freeman had 5 carries, and he did something with it. Tyler Huntley wasn't great. 16 of 31, 145, 41, 2 interceptions. Mark Anderson had another great game. Marquise Brown dropped a couple balls. Josh Bynes, well, I didn't mean it like that. Josh Bynes, 6 tackles. He had a big game, probably his biggest of the year. Calais Campbell had 5 tackles. Other than that, they really didn't do much. Jimmy Smith back, I guess that really helped in the slot. He made some big tackles. Chuck Clark was decent in coverage, too. Geno Stone had a big interception. Other than that, they didn't do a ton. Steelers offense, I said run the ball they didn't really run the ball well with 9 years. They did have quick passes to receivers, though. Honestly, I can't give them you know what? They weren't great. I'll give them a underscore. They got it done in the end. They did enough to win. They weren't absolutely a liability. They just weren't great. Steelers defense stopped the run, 2 plus turnovers. They did have 2 plus turnovers. They didn't stop the run, though. I'll give them an underscore. Ravens offense, they were just not effective. I gotta admit that. Target Myrick Andrews, their target hit him like 12 times. It was hard to throw the ball. Tyler Huntley looked a little off. They did run the ball well, so they will give him an underscore, but they just didn't do enough to win. Ravens defense, pressure Big Ben, double Deontay Johnson and Claypool. They did do exactly that. They did pressure Big Ben. I'll give them an underscore. Honestly, both teams played decent. It's just the Steelers did just enough to win. Next game. Okay, for the Jets and the Bills. Bills came out 27-10 in pretty much defensive battle. Bills go to 11-6. They get the 3 seed. I'll tell you that right now. That was a final. They won the AFC East. Jets fought at 4-13. They're, well, a mess. Zach Wilson was just getting sacked left and right and was really conservative. Honestly, could have been a lot worse. 17 of 20, 87 on a touchdown. Keelan Cole had a long touchdown. Other than that, they really didn't do much. Defensively, C.J. Mosley had a huge game, 12 tackles. Other than that, they really didn't do much. Nathan Shepard, honestly, he had a good game. He was securing the edge most of it. But other than that, they just didn't really do much. Bills offense, Josh Allen was basically, just inconsistent. 24, 45, 239, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 touchdowns, though, so that's good. They ran the ball well. That's what you want to see. Josh Allen had a good touchdown run. Couple good runs. Devin Singletary had the touchdown run, though, 19 for 88. Good for him. Stephon Diggs, of course, with that crazy touchdown, 9 for 81. Dawson Knox had 3 for 49. Devin Singletary, 2 for 24 in the touchdown. Greg Rousseau was actually pretty good at some big tackles. They had 9 sacks. Yeah, they had 9 sacks, I think. They got after, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 8 sacks. Wait. 2 plus 3 is 5. Yeah, they had 9 sacks. Where was it? Jordan Poyer had 2 sacks on blitzes. Mario Addison had his best game of the season. Overall, I think their defense played. Yeah, I'd say they played good. I wasn't really expecting much from the Jets offense. As a result, they kind of stunk it up. They're getting a minus. Jets defense, pressure Allen, stop the 2 plus interceptions, stop the run. They didn't really play actually that bad. They had a couple good pressures. I'll give them an underscore. Yeah, they gave them 27 points, but against a really good offense, I think they played good. Bills offense, run the ball 30 plus times. No. Josh Allen had a good game, but yeah, 10 plus targets is fine. Yeah, I'll give them a plus. They played really well. 27 points should get it done most weeks. Bills defense, pressure Wilson and forced turnovers. They didn't get any turnovers. They did pressure Wilson. I'll give you that. They get a plus. Next game. Okay, next game, Patriots Dolphins. Patriots lost 10-7. They fall to 24-33 was the final. Dolphins fell to 9-8. Finished their season with a winning record, though they lost their head coach. Oh yeah, Matt Nagy got fired too. Mac Jones 22 of 30, 261 touchdown pick. Wasn't great, but got the job done, you could say. Brandon Bolden ran for a touchdown. Damian Harris had a touchdown. Hunter Henry had a couple big catches. Johnny Smith still. I don't even know if he played. Defensively, they were honestly great in some points of the game, but it was really just quick spurts. Kyle Van Noy had a sack. Other than that, they didn't really do much. Jerron Bentley had basically 17 combined tackles, but yeah. Dolphins, Tua was great, 15 of 22, 109 touchdown. Yeah, you look at him, it wasn't great. It was. He basically just got the ball out really quick, which is what you want to do when you have a terrible offensive line. Duke Johnson, 25 for 117 touchdown. He did his job. Durham Smythe, Jalen Waddle both did, I guess, got the job done. They weren't great. Christian Wilkins, though, was getting pressure the whole game. 6 tackles, a sack. Xavier Howard had a pick. They had a fumble for a touchdown. Andrew Gankle also had a sack. He makes big plays at least once a season. Okay, let's go to the Keys game. Okay, Patriots offense run the ball for over 153 plus touchdowns in the red zone and 25 rush touchdowns and 25 for stars to Myers, Aguilar, Smith, and Henry. When they didn't really throw the ball, there was a lot of checkdowns to the running backs. It wasn't really that good. They get an underscore. Yeah, they turned the ball over a lot, but they did try to come back and they kind of burst open, kind of like the 49ers did. We'll get that in a little while. But for the Patriots defense, pressure 2 with forced 3 with turnovers. They couldn't really get pressure on Tua because he's throwing it really quick. They're getting a minus. Dolphins offense, run the ball for over 100 yards first half. Bam. and short pass variety of players. And Bill Wall for 2 BAME and short passes to a variety of players. They did that too. They get a plus. Defensively, they had 2 touchdowns. They give them a plus. They were aggressive. They did sack the Bucs. Next game. Okay, Saints Falcons. Saints won, but they're not in. I'll just put it out there. They won 30-20 over the Falcons. They go to 9-8. Falcons fall to 7-10 to end the season. Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill combined were pretty darn good. Alvin Kamara ran the ball really well. His best game of the season. Traquan Smith had a big touchdown. Little Jordan Humphrey had a big catch. Adam Troutman and Juwan Johnson, tight ends, both they catch big touchdowns. Tomorrow Davis had a couple big tackles. Paulson Dable had the pick though. Marcus Davenport, Cameron Jordan, and David Onyemata all in the backfield. Those are the guys for the future. They have those defensive linemen. Of course, Cameron Jordan getting older, but other than that, those 2 guys are pretty good. Matt Ryan, 22 of 33, 216 touchdown pick, not great. They ran the ball well, though. That's about it. Well, Cordell Patterson got 4 carries. They stacked the box for him. Russell Gage, his best game of the season, 9 for 106, 9 for 126 and a touchdown. Kyle Pitts was kind of just not a factor. Foyce Olokong leads the NFL in tackles through the end of the season. 7 tackles, 6 assists. Sean Willis, 6 for 5. Brandon Copeland, 4 for 2. A.J. Terrell, 4 for 2. And same thing with Deion Jones. They were decent. Okay, Saints offense. I said run the ball for over 250. They were not really that close. Play action balance. It's hard to get 250 rushing yards. And play action balance, they did get that in there. They're getting a plus. Saints defense stopped the run, double pitch, 5+ sacks. They were good. They just weren't that dominant. I'll give them an underscore. Falcons offense, won the game in the trenches. They didn't really do that. They couldn't, when they ran the ball, it was decent. They just didn't really run the ball that much. I'll give them an underscore. They scored some points. Falcons defense stacked the box. They just couldn't really do anything. Next game. Okay, Seahawks came out with this 38-30. Rams get the division. Of course, Cardinals fell to 11-6. I'll tell you this, they're playing the Rams next week on Monday Night Football. Yeah, that's about it. Monday Night Football wild card. First ever. Seahawks fall to 7-10, decent way to end the season. Russ was great, 15 for 26, 238, 3 touchdown interception. Interception was bad, other than that, it was great. Rashad Penny ran the ball like he wanted to. Tyler, Lockett, DK, and Freddie Swain were all great at different moments. Defensively, Jordan Brooks has been great. Carlos Dunlap, 2 sacks. He's not great in pass coverage, but overall he's pretty good. Boone 1.5 sacks, even after quarterback. Kerry Harder, Darrell Taylor also got involved. Cardinals, Kyler, was decent. 20 to 39, 240, touchdown. James Conner ran the ball well. Kyler, same thing. Well, he didn't really run the ball. He had a touchdown, though. Zachary, 7 for 84. Christian Kirk, not really that great of a game considering he wasn't really getting open. James Conner had a big touchdown though. Defensively, Antonio Hamilton was about it. That's about it. Jalen Thompson had his pick, but they weren't stopping anybody. Seahawks offense, it said run the ball 35 times at shotgun and single back. They ran the ball like they wanted to. Of course they're getting a plus. The other stuff doesn't really matter. They did take play action shots. They did protect Wilson. They did their job. Seahawks defense stopped the run, contained Murray. They did exactly that. They didn't, I'd say they stopped the run. They get a plus. No, they're getting an underscore. They get 30 points. Oh, they got 30 points here. I'm like, oh, thinking. They weren't exactly stopping them. Cardinals offense run the ball with running backs and Kyle Murray 40+ times. Not even really close. They couldn't really run the ball that many times. They will give them an underscore. They did score enough points to win, but their defense stunk it up. Now we go to the NFL and CBS doubleheader game. I guess CBS was in a tough spot here, but they had Panthers Bucs. This game was a blowout. Panthers Bucs come out 41-17. They get the 2 seed. They go to 13-4. Panthers fall to 5-12. Bad season. They lost 7 in a row. That was the final. Sam Darnold 29-42, 219, 2 touchdowns. At least he was in an interception. At least he was moving the ball. They were in the ball decent considering who they were playing. TJ Moore 7 for 89, decent. Robbie Anderson decent, 7 for 50 and a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard 2 for 8 and a touchdown. Defensively, Miles Hartsfield 8 for 4 and a sack. Other than that, they didn't really get much done. Bucs. Tom was elite, 29-37, 326, 3 touchdowns. They ran the ball just basically not well. You look at Scotty Miller, he had 2 carries and a touchdown. Le'Veon did his job, I guess. Keyshawn Vaughn was not good, though. Gronk had a big game, 7 for 137, and then Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns and 6 catches for 89 yards. Defensively, Antoine Winfield Jr. had a sack. Other than that, they didn't really do much. Yeah, you could say Anthony Nelson had a sack, but they didn't really do a ton. Andrew Adams had a pick too. There's There's no way I'm giving the Panthers offense a plus, but I will give them an underscore. They didn't stink. Anderson and Moore did get the balls. I think they played okay. Defense stunk it up. They didn't show up. Run the ball for over 200. The Bucs just did it in a different way. They're going to have to play better against a better team next week, though. Bucs defense pressured Darnold and shut down the receivers. I'd say they did exactly that at some points. I'll give them an underscore, though, considering they didn't really play that well when you looked at them film-wise. Okay, now we go to my favorite game of the week, totally. I'm sorry, the Rams should have won this. But 49ers came out with it 27-24 in overtime. They go to 10-7, getting the playoffs as a 6th seed. Rams fall to 12-5. They're going to be hosting the Cardinals on Monday night for the playoffs. Jimmy Garoppolo simply was clutch. I don't really need to say anything else. Like, that's the only reason they won this game, really. 23 of 32, 316, touchdown, 2 picks. Rams were up 17-0 at halftime. Sean McVay loses his first game ever after leading at halftime. He was previously 35-0. They ran the ball like they sucked in the first half. They were awful, but then they just got it done. Elijah Mitchell, 21 for 85. Debo, 8 for 45 and a touchdown. They just, the Rams couldn't really do anything. I'm sorry. They got up. They couldn't hold the lead. They ended up losing. They're not going to beat the 49ers. I'm sorry. Until they do, I don't think they're going to beat them. Literally. Until it actually happens. They're not beating them. Juwan Jennings is the player of the game, in my opinion. I said Jimmy Garoppolo, but Juwan Jennings is the reason they won this. And, I just said it was Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, I'm changing my mind. It was Jimmy Garoppolo and Juwan Jennings. He had 2 big touchdowns. But I'll just put it out. He's the reason they won the game. Tebow had a couple big catches. Of course, that huge one at the end of the game. Brandon Ayuk had a couple big catches, especially at the end of the half to get momentum. Kittle didn't show up. Defensively, they were basically just perfect in the second half. First half, they really weren't that bad. They had 5 sacks and interception. 2, actually. Avery Thomas had that 1. Overall, I think Avery Thomas had a great game. Nick Bosa was getting off the quarterback. They have the best D-line in the NFL. It's kind of obvious when they're playing the Rams and they're just getting pressure left and right. What do the Rams have to do? Well, Matt Stafford threw 2 picks in the second half. They were one in overtime. That could have been a walk-off touchdown. I would have went nuts if it was. Should have been one, but it was an underthrown ball. Matt Stafford, 21 of 32, 238, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. That could have been the game, but he just couldn't get it done. They couldn't run the ball either. Cooper Kupp should have broke the record. They just didn't throw it on 3rd down. Higbee had 2 big touchdowns. Van Jefferson had a couple of big catches. Odell, same thing. Rams offense couldn't get it done in the second half. Same thing with their defense. They had 2 picks. I don't really care. It's just they lost the game because they just didn't show up in the second half. That's about it. The 49ers offense, I will give a plus considering that they just won that game. Run the ball 35 plus times. Play action targets to Kittle with Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. They ran the ball 30 times, close to 35. They're getting a plus. Defensive, just because they got it done. Defense, they made Matt Stafford throw the ball 32 times, but what was it? This was one heck of a Sunday Night Football. Raiders came out with a 35-32 over the Chargers. The Chargers didn't really want a tie, which I get. Raiders, same thing. 35-32 was your final in overtime. Brandon Zane caught a timeout, probably shouldn't have. But the Raiders are in. Justin Herbert, 34 of 64, 383, 3 touchdowns pick. Great season, just couldn't get in. Austin Eckler was average. Mike Williams, 9 for 119 touchdown. He had a huge catch. Jared Cook, same thing. Keenan Allen was basically the MVP. He had 4 4th down conversion catches. Defensively, they were doo-doo. I don't really need to say anything else. Raiders, Derek Carr was phenomenal. 20 of 36, 186, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs ran the ball like he wanted to. Brian Edwards was really good. Hunter Renfrow had 2 touchdowns, though. Defensively, they weren't that much better, but they did get the job done. They did have a pick. They did have 2 sacks. Both defenses stunk it up. Okay, Chargers offense run the ball with Austin Eckler 25%. Didn't really quite get there. Play action shots to Mike Williams, Temple started to clean it out. And bam, they're getting a plus. Honestly, they could have played better, but it's kind of hard to do that. Chargers defense stunk. I'm giving them a minus. They didn't stop anything. Raiders offense plus. Raiders defense minus. They probably should have lost that game. Honestly, they just didn't play well at all. Okay, guys. Either way, like and subscribe. Well, what am I saying? We still gotta go with the picture. Here's your wild card games: Raiders, Bengals 5v4, Patriots 6v3. We'll get in depth with this on Friday. Eagles, Bucs, 49ers, Cowboys, Steelers, Chiefs, Rams, Cardinals, Rams. This is the game, of course, I'll be raving about because if the Rams win, I'll be happy. Titans and Packers are the number 1 seeds. But give you my thoughts in every game first. Raiders are going to beat the Bengals in overtime. Patriots are going to run the ball in the crap out of the Bills, but the Bills are going to still come out. Eagles are going to upset the Bucs. I'm saying no, never mind. Bucs are going to beat the Eagles because they have Tom Brady. 49ers are going to blow out the Cowboys. I mean it. Steelers are going to get crushed by the Chiefs. Rams are going to beat the Cardinals, and Matt Stafford's going to throw for 5 touchdowns and 450 yards. I'm calling it. No, I'm joking. What am I saying? Rams are going to run. I was joking about that. Matt Stafford's not going to do that. He'll do that against whoever that they play in the division if they get there. But, yeah, the Rams are going to run the ball down the Cardinals' throat. They're going to run it for like 500 yards. I'm not even kidding. And yeah, this should be a high-scoring game. Either way, guys, like, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. This was a great Week 18. I feel bad for the Colts fans. And Saints fans, you should have got in. My rant just choked. That's on us. Other than that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. Let's get ready for Super Wildcard Weekend and then the rest of the playoffs because it's going to be insane. I'm not doing predictions. I gave you guys my thoughts on them, or silly ones at least. I'm not doing predictions because they're not good. Either way, like, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed.